Henri Lefebvre's seminal work, The Urban Revolution, first published in 1970, marks a turning point in urban studies and social theory. In this book, Lefebvre examines the transformations of society and space under the dominance of capitalism, emphasizing the shift from a predominantly rural to an urban mode of living. His analysis is deeply rooted in Marxist philosophy, yet it transcends traditional frameworks by focusing on urban space as a critical dimension of social and political life. This essay provides an overview of Lefebvre's arguments, his methodological approach, and the broader implications of his ideas for understanding contemporary urbanization. Urban society, the central concept. At the heart of the urban revolution lies Lefebvre's concept of urban society. He argues that society has transitioned through three key stages: the agricultural society, the industrial society, and the emerging urban society. The urban society is not merely characterized by the physical growth of cities, but by the dominance of urban forms of living and the production of space. According to Lefebvre, this shift involves the transformation of both rural and urban areas into a single, interconnected system shaped by capitalist interests. The notion of urban society allows Lefebvre to challenge traditional dichotomies between the city and the countryside. In the modern era, he argues, these distinctions have become obsolete as urbanization spreads its influence far beyond the city's physical boundaries. Urbanization, for Lefebvre, is a process that encompasses all aspects of life, including culture, economy, and politics. It is not limited to the growth of cities, but includes the penetration of urban logics into rural and peripheral spaces. The production of space. One of Lefebvre's most influential contributions in The Urban Revolution is his theory of the production of space. Building on Marxist concepts of production, Lefebvre argues that space is not a neutral, pre-existing container, but a social product shaped by power relations and economic systems. Urban space, in particular, is produced through the interplay of three dimensions: perceived space, conceived space, and lived space. 1. Perceived space refers to the physical, material aspects of space that are directly experienced through sensory perception. This includes the built environment, infrastructure, and landscapes. 2. Conceived space is the mental or conceptual dimension of space shaped by planners, architects, and policymakers. This is the space of abstraction where dominant ideologies and economic interests are inscribed. Number 3. Lived space represents the subjective, experiential aspect of space. It is where individuals and communities engage with space in their everyday lives, imbuing it with meaning and resisting its commodification. By emphasizing the production of space, Lefebvre highlights the active role of human agency and social forces in shaping the urban environment. He critiques the tendency of capitalist societies to commodify space, reducing it to a tool for profit rather than a medium for human flourishing. Urbanization as a historical process. Lefebvre situates urbanization within a broader historical and dialectical framework. He identifies urbanization as a process that evolves through distinct stages, each shaped by specific economic and social conditions. In agricultural societies, space was primarily shaped by natural rhythms and subsistence-based economies. The advent of industrial society marked a dramatic transformation, with cities becoming centers of production and labor exploitation. However, Lefebvre argues that industrial society is now giving way to urban society, characterized by the dominance of service industries, information technology, and global capitalism. In this stage, urbanization is no longer confined to city boundaries, but becomes a planetary phenomenon, integrating even the most remote areas into the global economy. Lefebvre's concept of planetary urbanization underscores the extent to which urban logics have come to dominate all aspects of life. The right to the city. Another key theme in the urban revolution is Lefebvre's advocacy for the right to the city. This concept is both a critique of existing urban conditions and a call for radical social change. Lefebvre defines the right to the city as the right of all inhabitants to participate in the production and appropriation of urban space. This involves more than access to housing or infrastructure. It requires the empowerment of marginalized communities to shape their environments according to their needs and aspirations. For Lefebvre, the right to the city is inherently political. It challenges the dominance of capitalist interests that prioritize profit over human well-being. By reclaiming the city as a space for democratic participation and collective creativity, Lefebvre envisions a more just and equitable urban future. Critique of urban planning and technocracy. Lefebvre is highly critical of the technocratic approach to urban planning, which he sees as a tool for maintaining capitalist domination. He argues that modern urban planning often prioritizes efficiency, functionality, and economic growth at the expense of social and cultural values. This results in the homogenization of urban spaces, the displacement of vulnerable populations, and the erosion of community life. In contrast, Lefebvre calls for a more humanistic and participatory approach to urban planning. He emphasizes the importance of creativity, diversity, and the lived experiences of urban inhabitants. Urban space, he argues, should be designed not only to meet material needs, but also to foster social interaction, cultural expression, and personal fulfillment. Urbanization and capitalism. A central concern of the urban revolution is the relationship between urbanization and capitalism. Lefebvre argues that urbanization serves as a key mechanism for the reproduction of capitalist relations. Cities are not only sites of production, but also arenas for the circulation and accumulation of capital. Real estate development, infrastructure projects, and the commodification of public space are all driven by the imperatives of profit maximization. Lefebvre critiques the ways in which capitalism exploits urban space to create new markets and extract surplus value. He points to the phenomenon of gentrification as a prime example of how urbanization reinforces social inequalities. By displacing low-income communities and transforming working-class neighborhoods into spaces of consumption, gentrification exemplifies the commodification of urban life. Relevance to contemporary urban studies. The urban revolution remains highly relevant to contemporary urban studies, offering valuable insights into the dynamics of globalization, neoliberalism, and spatial inequality. Lefebvre's emphasis on the production of space has inspired a wide range of interdisciplinary research, from critical geography to cultural studies. His work has also influenced contemporary debates on urban justice, sustainability, and the right to the city. In the context of globalization, Lefebvre's concept of planetary urbanization helps explain the interconnectedness of urban processes on a global scale. The spread of urban logics from megacities to rural hinterlands highlights the uneven and contested nature of global capitalism. Lefebvre's critique of technocracy also resonates with current concerns about the privatization of public space, the rise of smart cities, and the role of technology in shaping urban life. Critiques and limitations. While the urban revolution is widely regarded as a groundbreaking work, it has also been subject to criticism. Some scholars argue that Lefebvre's theoretical framework is overly abstract, making it difficult to apply to specific urban contexts. Others question his reliance on Marxist concepts, suggesting that his analysis does not fully account for the diversity of urban experiences across different cultures and regions. Additionally, Lefebvre's optimistic vision of the right to the city has been criticized as utopian. Critics argue that his call for radical social transformation lacks concrete strategies for implementation. Nevertheless, these critiques do not diminish the importance of Lefebvre's work. Rather, they highlight the need for further research and dialogue to build on his ideas. The urban revolution offers a profound and provocative analysis of urbanization as a social, political, and economic process. By emphasizing the production of space, the transition to urban society, and the right to the city, Lefebvre provides a powerful framework for understanding the complexities of modern urban life. His work challenges us to rethink our relationship with urban space and to envision alternative futures that prioritize human needs over capitalist imperatives. In an era of rapid urbanization and growing inequality, Lefebvre's insights remain as relevant as ever. His call for a more just and participatory urban society continues to inspire scholars, activists, and planners to imagine new possibilities for urban life. Ultimately, the urban revolution is not only a critique of the present, but also a manifesto for a better future, one in which the city becomes a space of liberation rather than domination.